And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here from Lakers Fast Break, Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcasts. And hopefully you'll catch Melinda and I talking about Netflix, PlayStation, and more on our latest shows, where go ahead and catch it. It's great. Really liked it. Have a lot of fun. Go ahead and catch it. Along with Inside Sports Fantasy Football. Hopefully, Joe will join Chris and I this week as we talk about the Super Bowl coming up here and our thoughts on the game itself. So go ahead and catch that this week coming up on Inside Sports Fantasy Football Plus also as well. Of course, speaking of Joe Soro, later tonight, 10 p.m. Pacific. I've already got it scheduled. Go ahead and join Mr. Frank Lopez here, a.k.a. Joe Soro, Ox1947 at LakersBall.com and Simblades.com. for Lakers Nightcap with Joe Soro coming up here at 10 p.m. Plus also as well, of course, our good friends, Empire Jeff TV, who I'm sure is on right now as well. Lakers in 5. I think they're on as well, probably too. Of course, Lakers Corner, John Costa is not going to be here today, but he swears he's going to be here for the Charlotte postgame. Also as well, Clutch Talk and John McCallion channel. Support all those great channels. And please, speaking of supporting, if you're not yet liked and subscribed, please do so to get the latest notifications on when we go live on the air with the latest Lakers Fast Break podcast. We've got a lot of stuff this upcoming week. We've got planned for you. So if you want more Lakers Fast Break, you're going to get it. NBA trade deadline week right here. And also the Kobe statue dedication. We've got plans for that as well right here at the Lakers Fast Break podcast. Well, the Lakers coming off that great victory in Boston, with the uncertainty going on now with LeBron being mum on whether or not he's going to pick up the option and his hourglass tweet, head into the bright lights of the Big Apple, New York City, NYC, and MSG, Madison Square Garden, where the famous, well, actually one of the most, if not the most famous arena in all the planet, heading in there for a matchup, primetime matchup against the New York Knicks, who have won 9 in a row and are just fighting for second place in the Eastern Conference. What will the Lakers do? They've got LeBron and AD back in the lineup. A major change in the starting lineup, although we got to see, whether you liked it or not, a lot of Prince down the stretch. He did hit some shots. You got to give him that. But Taurean Prince coming off the bench and Rui Hachimura in the starting lineup. Would that change the fortunes of the Lakers? We saw a little bit of that today. The Lakers and the Knicks back and forth. No team got out to a double-digit lead. And the Lakers were still behind, though, at the end of the third quarter. And I heard the famous words by Mike Breen on ABC saying that the Knicks had only lost once when leading into the fourth quarter, and that doomed them, per se. Well, I'll tell you what, the Lakers stepped it up defensively. Today was an issue of defense. I'm going to give credit to players I've not been able to give credit to for playing solid defense. I'm going to give credit to Max Christie. I'm going to give credit to Austin Reeves. I'm going to give credit to Taurean Prince for playing hard-nosed defense. AD, 2 block shots back-to-back right in a row. 4 block shots for him, 18 rebounds in total on a game that they needed his rebounding with one of the best rebounding teams in the league. LeBron James in the bright lights, the big city, 24 points. Just another day at the office for him, but we got enough from him. D'Angelo Russell and Austin Reeves combined 34 points and 11 assists. Taurean Prince, 16 points coming off the bench. This is the Taurean Prince everybody wanted to see. 32 minutes, maybe a little bit too much, but hey, still got the job done. Rui Hachimura, though, 19 minutes starting, only got 7. But the Lakers, with good performances again from Jackson Hayes, Max Christie, and again, just a complete team performance on the defensive end, really, really did a good job there as they pull out a 105-98 victory over the New York Knicks. And here today to discuss, good man indeed, he is the guy behind Ox 1947 at LakersBall.com. It is, of course, Frank Lopez, aka the guy that doesn't want to talk cocaine, as we had to talk cocaine and tell Kubro not only what is cocaine, but tell him not to use cocaine after you watch Scarface today. It is Joe Sorrow. And Joe, great to have you here. Hopefully, R.I.P. Tony Montana. Yeah, but that's okay. Al Pacino's done well after that, so it's all good. But Joe,
He means rest in pieces. Yes, that
yeah,
is.
he did at the very end. But let me ask you this: this is the kind of defensive performance we've asked the Lakers to go ahead and put together for 4 quarters in quite some time. After a very spirited victory in Boston, they get exactly what the doctor ordered today.
Yes, this is the second game this week where the Lakers played a game that was NBA excellence. The New York Knicks played very well up until the last few minutes, but it looked like they might have ran out of gas, possibly with the combination of the phenomenal defense that the Lakers were implementing. And when you have a team that plays defense that well and only has 5 turnovers, you're probably going to get a pretty darn good result. And I got to give Darvin credit. I'm sure he had the itch to put D'Angelo back in there towards the end, but unfortunately, D'Angelo Russell doesn't do defense as well. And I thought his lineup to close out the game was the right lineup to go with. And Torian Prince did help us out in hitting some important shots there at the end, despite some of the fumbles that he did have.
Yes.
But
Same thing with Christie. Couple mistakes, but still some clutch play and clutch defense from him today.
both Torian and especially Max Christie need to just take a breather. So you can tell that their head was ahead of their legs in some of those instances, and that's especially for Max Christie. It's part of the learning process, but overall, I thought there were integral parts of why the team played well tonight, and especially on defense as well. Very very entertaining game. I watched most of it on uh, mobile, and then finally I was able to watch the last quarter at home in front of the TV, and then I was able to join in there towards the back half of the fourth. It was a very entertaining game. The Knicks are a very good team, coached by a very good coach, and Darvin Ham had a successful 48 minutes of coaching tonight. I would say this is probably one of his better games in terms of coaching and rotations. It's nice. It's nice, guys. This is something that we were hoping we could get throughout the first 51 games uh, in much bigger spurts. But we'll take what we can take right now. You have Charlotte next to end the Grammy trip. If you beat Charlotte, you come out of this 4-2 and beating some really good teams. So, yeah, yeah, I think we felt that a 4-2 record coming out of the Grammy trip would be elating, elation, I should say. I had predicted 2-4. That's because I didn't expect them to beat the Knicks and
And you got to admit, as I told
Boston.
Tyrone earlier, that it wasn't looking too good coming out of Atlanta, man.
No, it wasn't. It actually wasn't looking good out of Houston. Atlanta was the clincher, but the issue with those games is, the Lakers tend to punt a lot during the year to preserve their players. The issue is they don't have enough room to punt, so we're kind of in that mode of they have to win, and if they don't, we're just going to teeter here in the hovering around 500, and we're going to be a 10th seed in the end if we keep doing that. But if the Lakers beat Charlotte, go back home, get it, you know, getting 4-2 or winning 4 out of 6 on the road, you got to say that's progress. And then there is a Denver and a New Orleans waiting for you when you get home, but at least they'll be sleeping in their own bed. And maybe if we can get one of those 2 games, that would be nice. Although both games would be nice at home.
Once again, it is the Lakers fast break. this chat, world's best Lakers chat that's out there, Lakers Fast Break. It is Gerald Glassford along with Joe Soro. Please go ahead and make sure you like and subscribe to get the latest notifications on when we go live on the air with the latest Lakers Fast Break. The Lakers win 105-98. Again, on the offensive end, it was not the prettiest, Joe, especially in that third quarter, but I'll tell you what, they did enough to put it together. Anthony Davis did not have the offensive game you obviously asked for, only 8 points tonight. But my God, the focus
12.
on the defense, he had 8.
No, you had 12.
8 points, 4 of 12 shooting.
He had 12.
I'm telling you, he had 8.
I'm looking at the box score. It's 12.
I'm looking at the box score on ESPN.
No, that's wrong. It's
all right, it's 12. There you go. It just got flashed up. Yeah, there you go. You were right.
Remember he took those 2 or those
the free throws. Yeah, you're right. 12 points, 18 rebounds, 5 assists, and 4 block shots.
This is the perfect AD game. And it was perfect in the sense of he just showed on national television on Saturday in the biggest arena that's ever lived in America, at least. He just showed the world that when AD wants to shut you down, he's going to shut you down. So I expect you writers out there that have a vote, make sure you pencil in Mr. Davis as Defensive Player of the Year here, barring any major injury, because I'm about tired of you guys not giving this guy what his belongs to. And tonight, I don't give a damn how many points he had. All I know is that guy was a menace. A menace. They didn't know what the hell they were doing. They didn't know how to shoot. They were done. Anyone that got to the rim towards the end there, they're like, they didn't know what to do. Even Jalen Brunson was worried about getting blocked with his little floater. So I thought it was a brilliantly executed game from beginning to end. Yes, they had a little bit of a lapse there in the third quarter, but every home team that has talent like the Knicks is going to make a little bit of a run. The important part is, can you weather it? And they weathered it very well. They stayed there. They were tight on them. And then, of course, as soon as the floodgates opened, boom, they just kept hammering them. And this is the beautiful part. These are my favorite type of games. Grit, and both teams are playing hard, and you have a crowd that's very, very knowledgeable in terms of basketball, and you're in a star-studded arena as well with all the guys there, all the popular people in New York. So this is the second game this week where I was very, very, very happy with the product. Now, I was happy, obviously, for the Boston game, but Boston played like dog doo-doo. I'm saying that I like the game in terms of an NBA fan. Golden State last Saturday and then tonight's game. Because it was both. It was an entertaining game for the NBA, and I think that's important to make note of it.
One thing I do want to ask you, though, the concern, though, for the Lakers as we get closer to the trade deadline, and the trades are out there, the mock trades, Isabel, Laker Tom, we're getting a whole bunch of people out there saying their thoughts on who we should trade for. Obviously, that increases with the prospect of what is going to happen with Jared Vanderbilt, my friend, because I don't know if you heard that Woj had a report that it is most likely leaning towards a serious injury for Vando, that he will probably be out the rest of the season. Could be out a little bit longer than that, leading into training camp and and as far as the next season beyond it, as far as the first part of that. We do not know how serious it is, but they're already talking like he's done for the season, Joe.
Into training camp? What the hell happened to his foot? Did Chris Mim transfer his foot there, or like
could
what?
Be a Liz Frank injury, like Z was speculating? Could be something of the nature of an Achilles. We don't know yet. We don't know the extent of how bad it is, but they are already counting like he's out for the season. So I'm hoping I'm wrong on that, but it does, when Woj goes on the air, that it's looking more like that in direction. I think that it is something that we're looking at.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's nothing we can do now about that. The Lakers are going to have to somehow figure out how to get talent on this team without sending out any talent. We're at a time now where you can't trade Reeves and D'Angelo Russell. Those are the two mainstays at this point. Rui, I would say if the right package came along, I think I would be willing to do that.
Because they aren't going to play him, Joe. He started tonight and only got 19 minutes.
Again, it's. I'm looking at it from an asset aspect. It's the asset. If you can get him, if you have to trade him for someone who might be maybe a slight bit better, then do it. But you can't drop the first round pick either. That's the thing. So you'd have to do some kind of a deal where there's a 3-team deal, and Rui's sent out, and then the third team sends out some kind of draft package for you to help you, and then of course the team that has the player we want sends that player to LA. The buyout market, I agree with Stone when we were on playback. I'm not really, again, I'm not big on that either. Anyways, I don't think there's going to be any play, or I should say buyout player that's going to make a difference.
And if that's the case, they probably would go to a team that's a little bit higher up in the standings.
Yeah. Continuity at this point might be the safer route. At least you have these guys that have played together the whole year. Cam Reddish, if he can come back, maybe he can give us a little bit of what Vando was giving us. We can't ask for much. And that's where they're at. That the Lakers are going to need a little bit of a miracle here, health-wise, and possibly a path in the playoffs. Should they go that, should they stay on that path where maybe they avoid certain teams and certain upsets happen on the way up there. That's probably the only thing we can hope for at this point. It's just going to be very, very hard to get any talent in here without giving up talent. And the Lakers don't have that kind of depth at this point.
Once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. It is Joe Soro along with me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Truly appreciate it. Please make sure you like and subscribe to get the latest notifications on when we go live on the air with the latest Lakers Fast Break podcast. The Lakers do win 105-98. As we always say, Joe, with this season, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. The thing is, they've got 2 steps forward now with great victories in Boston and New York. They've got to follow it up with the game that's supposedly the easiest on the schedule, and that is in Charlotte. Your thoughts on that, my friend? Because this is definitely a Jamie Sweet special, Admiral Akbar special. And thank you, Eric. Again, truly very kind of you for the super chat.
I would be in shock, even though the Lakers have been known to flub
San Antonio.
a lot. I don't see them losing to Charlotte. Charlotte's terrible.
We say these things and then they end up doing.
Charlotte's really bad. I just can't see it. If it happens, it happens, but I can't see it at this moment. I just can't.
Okay.
I can't. The focus should be play hard for 3 quarters and then make sure you have a 25-point lead going to the fourth so that AD and LeBron can sit and get ready to go on a flight back home so they'll get ready for Denver. That's my thinking on that. I just can't imagine them doing all this and then losing to Charlotte. But
terrible. The season's been like that, Joe.
Yeah, you're right, but I'm not getting that feeling at the moment, and that's just kind of where I'm at with it.
Okay, because again, this is the Admiral Akbar special coming up here as far as the trap.
I think we already had the Admiral Akbar special with the Spurs, and you don't see those kind of losses usually more than once. Those really bad ones.
Okay,
it's usually one. If it's the second one, then fine, but it would seriously be a kick to the face at that point. Because you get a chance to go up 2 games above 500 before you have to face Denver, and Denver, you gotta beat Denver here, guys. I'm getting kind of a little tired of losing to Denver too. So you got to beat Charlotte, and you got to beat Denver. It's time. It's time to beat Denver. I think you're equipped to do that at this point.
Once again, the Lakers do win 105-98. I'm checking out as far as the last, the after game press conference and the quotes. Darvin Ham said he's hoping to stick with the starting group from tonight. That's definitely the plan. So your thoughts, Taurean Prince out of the starting lineup. Rui Hashimura in, although just again, if you just basically mirrors what they've been doing, Rui Hashimura still playing only 19, 20 minutes, Torian Prince playing 30 plus minutes again. It's just that he's coming off the bench. Your thoughts on exactly, was it a good move or not good move by Darvin Ham in putting Rui into the starting lineup?
Tonight it was a good idea. It might be a bad idea in the next game. The talent between those two is too inconsistent to say, well, this guy needs to play more versus this guy. It's just not. It's not ever going to be that. Torian Prince was playing Brunson very well. One of our great viewers here had mentioned that, and that is true. That's a lot of the reasons why probably D'Angelo Russell wasn't put back in. I thought he had a pretty good game too. He didn't shoot as well, but his presence puts fear in the other team. Sometimes that's a lot. That does a lot. But it was the right call, sticking with Prince, making sure that he could at least distract Brunson, and he did. And then Anthony Davis was the human mop tonight, just mopping everybody up, which was beautiful.
So I could tell he was focusing more on that. So obviously that might have been a reason why he was only got 12 points in offense.
And I don't believe if he wasn't doing that, this would have been a loss.
Yeah, because they are such a good rebounding team. The Knicks
took the initiative. He said, "I'm going to play like Bill Russell tonight. You guys do the scoring. I'm going to make sure that there's nothing that comes through here." And man, he was phenomenal tonight. Barring an injury, you better get that Defensive Player of the Year award ready, because that guy deserves it. No, that guy should have it. He is the best defender on the planet, and there's no argument in any way. And you can call me a Laker homer or an AD homer. I don't give a damn. That guy is the baddest defender on the planet, and there's nothing you can do to change my mind.
Absolutely. Great performance from him tonight on the defensive end. How about that play when he blocked not one, but two block shots right back to back at the rim? Absolutely stunning play by him when it looked like it could have been an easy layup for both Knicks.
Those block shots are memory slappers for the other team, and it became a problem, which is why they couldn't score. They couldn't score for almost 6 minutes in the fourth, because when they had a chance to get into the paint and maybe get an easy bucket, they were scared. They were scared because AD was just on them like flies on you know what. And the entertainment value, even if this wasn't a Laker team, was at its peak tonight. That's what I like to see. I like to see greatness. I like to see domination. And we saw domination from Anthony Davis, the full arsenal in terms of his defensive prowess. This is the stuff. This is the kind of game and performance that makes you want to come back and watch. This is why we watch, at least for me. And the win obviously helps, but even if they hadn't won, yes, we would be disappointed. Yes, we'd probably be a little more negative tonight. But this was a great game. This was a great game for the NBA. Great game by the Lakers and the Knicks. The crowd played its part as well. Mike Breen did his thing as well, like he always does. And we if we're going to criticize certain things, we also got to give props when it's good. And tonight was a good night.
Tonight was definitely a good night indeed, as the Lakers do win 105-98. Thanks again so much to Eric the Raids for the kind and generous super chat. Truly appreciate you sharing your thoughts. Great win again, he says, and absolutely back-to-back great wins for the Lakers. What do you hope that the Lakers can come out of this with such momentum coming off of two great victories like this? What do you think it can do for this team going forward, Joe?
It's going to be an interesting 5 days. I don't know if their emotion can truly be set until the trade deadline is done, because the losing Vando did change the deadline need. It is. Rob is going to be trying to do something here, and what's going to need to happen is He's going to probably have to wait for maybe specific players that he could probably get. The one I'm hearing right now is Tyus Jones for second round picks. While Tyus Jones isn't a giant game changer, he's still someone who could play backup guard, considering I think Gabe Vincent's done for the year as well. And even if he's not done officially, he's not going to likely be of any use not playing for the whole year. At least for, it's just not. He hasn't really played all year. He's the Miami acquisition 2.0, and I would, if we could get rid of him this summer for a bag of flaming hot Cheetos, I'd do it in a second. But I'd say that kind of deal would probably happen at the last hour of the deadline, because Washington's going to try to see if they can get a better deal. But if they don't, then they can fall back on that. And I'm using Washington as the first possible partner, because Washington's had a habit of doing good trades with the Lakers. And I say good loosely. I mean, they've gotten the upper hand on that by getting rid of Westbrook and them getting, let's say Kyle Kuzma, and being able to, do whatever they do, which is unfortunately doesn't manifest to wins. But that would be something I think at last resort, that might be the way to go. Get a legitimate backup guard like Tyus Jones, who does have some talent, and not have to give up any player assets. We're not going to get DeJounte Murray for Rui and a first-round pick. So I don't think we need to think about that. If there's something else that comes about, sure. Look what happened to Zach LaVine. He's officially out for the year now. So whomever was thinking about getting that, one boy, did they dodge a bullet when that announcement came out? That would have been disastrous.
Did we not call it, Joe? Did we not call it when a lot of people were asking for the Lakers to trade for LaVine?
Yeah, but those people who ask for that are not thinking. That they think this is the NBA in 1995. It's not possible, folks. There are collective bargaining agreement deals that can't go through because of it. And unless you traded half your roster for it, practically, it's not very realistic, despite his injury history or whatever. I would say if the Lakers are to make a run the rest of the year, you pick up whatever you can pick up with some of the second round picks you can get. And if you can get a buyout player for depth purposes, and might be someone of some value, sure, pick them up. I don't know if that's going to matter much, but that's essentially what I see happening here. And that in turn will then be able to focus, and they'll be able to focus on finishing this out. They won't have to worry about, are we going to be doing a trade? Are we not going to be doing a trade? Are we hitting our momentum? The momentum, I believe, will be after Tuesday. I believe they'll finish this road trip with a win in Charlotte. I don't know what's going to happen against Denver or New Orleans, but I think once the deadline is done, they know that they're not going to be able to get any reinforcements again after that, should they get it or not. And then at that point, they're going full throttle. This is who we are. This is what we have. Let's try to go after it.
Once again, the Lakers do win 105-98. I do want to make mention, Joe, to clarify on the first round picks that the Lakers have. They can trade, according to Bobby Marks at ESPN, the 29 or the 2030 first round pick. Either it's not both. You can choose one and trade that. Most teams will just say, hey, that's just the 29. So in essence, most people would just, most teams would just say, take the 29. So want to make sure that's clarified. Plus, of course, they do have the restrictions based still off of the residuals from the Anthony Davis trade. So again, heading into next week, the Lakers realistically have only one first round draft pick to go ahead and utilize in a trade. I'm still saying I don't think you could do a whole lot. I don't want to mortgage whatever future there is left for the Lakers as far as assets for somebody that's just not going to move the needle farther than what you can do with the team you have. But after the Jared Vanderbilt injury, I'm sure the impetus now is on Rob to do something to go ahead and shore up the rotation a little bit more.
I thought his rotations tonight were some of his best rotations, but that's only predicated on the performance of Torian Prince and Max Christie. Usually,
Yeah.
those guys are not playing that well. They did play well tonight, so that that balance is not
They have
no.
to be consistent,
They
Joe.
can't, Gerald. These are not these are role players, and a lot of they're lower end role players. They're not going to play this good game in and game out. A Austin Reeves is a high end role player. D'Angelo Russell is a high end role player. These are the guys that can go 2, 3 a month playing their roles and being effective. Torian Prince, Max Christie, they're going to have duds every other game. Maybe they might have 2 games in a row, but then they'll have a dud. And that's what they are. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm going to depend on Torian Prince to guard the Jalen Brunsons of the world the way he did tonight and hit the corner 3 in a consistent form. You saw there was too much fumbling in key parts of the game. Luckily, they were able to make up for it on the defensive end, but imagine if they hadn't. And there was 3 major turnovers by Max Christie and Torian Prince that could have been bad. It could have cost them the game. And those, if you do that kind of stuff to a Denver team or a Minnesota team, those guys with that kind of talent will make you pay. And it's just he's gonna have to adjust as time is going. If he sees stuff that's not working, adjust, call a timeout, put another guy in. I don't know. The issue with Darvin Ham is he's not very quick to the draw when he probably should be. And we need him to kind of improve there. Otherwise, these type of mistakes could be costly when it matters.
I want to mention Stanley Johnson. I know that you guys will keep on mentioning him in the past 40 hours. He's sprung up out of nowhere. He's been playing in the G League for this season. He's played 14 games, averaging 24 minutes, 12 points, but he has been shooting better from behind the arc. He's about 45% now from behind the arc, which doesn't always translate to the next level, but just wanted to make mention of what he's doing. I don't know what this stage of his career, if he can still give you anything at all. So I don't feel a whole lot of confidence if that's who you're relying on to come back and help the Lakers. Your thoughts on Stanley Johnson? I think you said the other day about your thoughts on Stanley, but his name has popped up on our, and also I seen Empire Jeff's chat and others in regards to Stanley Johnson. I don't have the highest of hopes if Stanley Johnson joins the team.
Stanley Johnson is a bust.
So, if he can shoot 45%, that's different, but he never's been able to shoot from the outside consistently. That's why was out of the league, or that's why he is out of the league.
No, I don't know why that name keeps coming up. He's a bust. Let it go.
6'7", 6'8".
He might be worse than Gordon Hayward. Gordon Hayward's pretty bad. So no.
And Gordon Hayward's going to be a wanted commodity if he decides to go ahead. I
don't know why anybody would want Gordon Hayward. Gordon Hayward can't move. If he can't move, how the hell is he going to shoot? How's he going to get any elevation on his shot, which is what he's been known for in his career when he was good? He can't. Don't get walking corpses. We don't need walking corpses, and we don't need busts. Lakers need talent. If you can get talent, get it. If not, stick with what you got. Keep the chemistry tight, and let's see if you can make a run here. That's it. There isn't. I mean, the only one that I would be willing to consider is if for some reason Golden State buys out Chris Paul. If you can get Chris Paul as a backup point guard for a buyout number, I would be okay with that. He's got veteran leadership. He might still be able to do some good at the mid range, and he can back up. He can be a good backup point guard for 15 minutes a game. Other than that, I just don't see any buyout players that are going to matter, and definitely not any G Leaguers that can come out of nowhere. That unfortunately, the one G Leaguer that played this year, you decide not to draft him, and we're seeing the results of that.
Yes, Cam Whitmore.
That's the guy you needed. That guy could have covered so much ground for this team. Yes, I'm going to keep mentioning it because that's a gut punch. and a kick in the face at the same time.
I haven't
Because
said anything on Hayward, but Rodell, you're saying you guys, stop putting that blanket over us. He said about Hayward. I haven't said anything about Hayward, Joe. And yet it's again, Rodell's throwing that blanket. Stop that. That's a bad habit, Rodell. Stop throwing the
I
blanket.
think Rodell wants to hear what he wants to hear,
Yes.
and then he imagines what he wants to say instead of retorts to what's actually being said. So Rodell, you need to start focusing on
Don't throw
comprehension.
that blanket. No.
Okay, we don't look. I don't wrap myself with with a blanket with Gerald. That's not my style. So we need to get out of this blanket business.
And to give you an idea what he's doing for Charlotte, who's not exactly the best team in the NBA right now, 14 and a half points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 46% overall, 36% from 3. Not outstanding by any stretch of the imagination, just like, it's like there. That's for Charlotte. And if you want him to go ahead and play for a better team like the Lakers, you're not going to get the same kind of results there. It's been doing okay. It's nothing great. Those numbers right there don't suggest anything really promising, but he will be a buyout candidate. I'm pretty sure of that because he's probably not going to be able to get traded here in the next few days. But there you go. Darren said Gerald mentioned Murray first, but won't stand that ground since he has an exit strategy. Again, I just said Murray. He checks some of the boxes for the Lakers, but he's not a cure-all. You guys are looking for a cure-all. You guys and gals out there want a cure-all that's going to transform this team into an upper echelon team overnight. And Murray is a good player. He's not a great player. He's not a player that you guys are going to go ahead and say, yeah, he's going to change the dynamic of the team. You might want to say that, but it's just not going to happen unless there are other players you trade alongside with him. I always said packaged him with Capella. If you get Bogdanovich on there, but the numbers just don't jive with that. Plus, I'm sure Atlanta wants more than one first-round pick for DeJounte Murray, Joe.
Well, I heard that Minnesota was sending 4 second-round picks to Washington for Tyus Jones. Irony there's hilarious considering they had him. And they said no, apparently. They want first-round picks. So even that might not be a possibility.
Good point, Kurt. I'll say certain individuals want a cure-all. How about that? That's much better. Okay. Thank you. Touche.
Yeah, man,
Touche
he got you on that one.
Yeah, he got me on that one. Excellent. Touche. Touche for you.
Rodell
says
we should end the show now. All right, guys.
There you go.
This guy's good to be here.
Kurt, I'm telling you, man, you got to be on the show, Kurt. We'd love to have you here.
Look, just for someone who's humble like I am, I just prefer to blame everyone.
Of course, myself. So shy, so introverted.
Yeah, I prefer the humbleness creates the message that it's everyone else's fault but mine, and it's a very good philosophy when you're in the position I'm in.
Raul's roasting a pig. He's getting it ready right now to celebrate the Lakers win. Truly appreciate you doing that. Absolutely. Got the bacon and the ham a cooking there. Absolutely. Cannot wait for that. Obviously, I'll just say that that's just something that a lot of people out there would love to have some bacon right now. Absolutely. Tasty indeed. But once again, it is the Lakers fast break. The Lakers do win 105-98. Cool Bro says, Gerald, you and Joe, can you say your 5 favorite? Not right now, Cool Bro. Sometime down the road we will. Okay, but we got to go ahead and focus in on the game with all due respect, my friend. But yes, definitely want to go ahead and focus in on the game with the Lakers do winning 105-98. We will get back to your 5 favorite lines, Cool Bro. But let me ask you this, Joe. When it comes right down to it, with the Lakers now with an opportunity to hopefully gain some ground, teams are not playing well in certain spots right around where the Lakers are at in the Western Conference. They're still 9th place in Western Conference, but if they have a good week, Joe, they could find themselves back in the mix in the Western Conference.
Yeah, it's I don't know. What is the longest winning streak this year from an NBA team?
From an NBA team?
Was it 8?
No, because the Knicks stopped at 9.
9. Okay, so it's the Knicks. Okay. So I don't know. The Lakers would have to go on a 6-7 game winning streak to probably start threatening the top 6 seeds.
Mm-hmm.
And it would help they get some assistance. The fact that they're playing, let's say, New Orleans, they're only a game back at Dallas. Well, actually, technically, it's 2 losses, and then they're down 4 losses against the Pelicans. Those are big numbers. At least 4, 5, and 6. It's hard if you're going to continue to play 2 wins, 1 loss, 2 wins, 1 loss.
They're only 3 games out of 6th place at this point in time, behind Phoenix.
Life collection. Can I do a better job than Darvin Ham? That's an interesting question. I don't know if my personality would have been good now. Maybe in the 90s, in the 80s. I don't think I would have had the patience to coach NBA players. I probably would have coached college. I probably would have went to a good program and coached in college. NBA players are just a pain in the ass. So especially nowadays. So if I had to say, would I do a better job than Darvin Ham? It would depend on a few things. If I had a star that could, eat my, like, let's say they were able to eat a lot of my concerns loudly, kind of like Popovich with Tim Duncan type thing. Then everyone would fall in line on the team, and then at that point it might be easy. But I would have needed someone like a Tim Duncan in this era to be able to chastise in front of the group and everyone fall in line, because Tim Duncan was one of those guys that truly believed he was part of the group. He didn't have a large enough ego to say, hey, you can't talk to me like that, And of course, if he did, then I don't believe Popovich would have been as great as he was. Again, there's a lot of really, really good coaches out there, but you still need that star to eat the words in the right way. Otherwise, the rest of the group won't buy into it.
Once again, the Lakers do win 113-105, 113-105. The Lakers now, again, 26-25 on the season, 9th place in the Western Conference. Like I was talking about, 3 games out of 6th place in the Western Conference with a 113-105 victory. I do want to ask you, though, Joe, tonight, it wasn't a pretty performance from our backcourt. With Austin Reeves 6 of 13 with that brand new haircut we talked about on playback. You were not there for that, but yes, first thing we noticed. D'Angelo Russell 5 of 14, but pretty solid. 38 points, 11 assists combined out of the backcourt. Wasn't the best shooting night from both, but they did just enough on both ends of the floor, especially Austin Reeves, to get the job done. In a rare, decent defensive performance on his part, because they were going at him quite a bit.
I thought Austin Reeves was very efficient tonight. Yeah, he might have even had a better game than the Boston game. Just from he played 39 minutes, man. Has he played 39 minutes before?
Reeves,
yeah, in regulation.
In regulation, I'm not sure about that. I know the Golden State game he played over 40.
Yeah, he was pretty. I was very impressed with how he played the game tonight, and he hit 50% from 3. He hit almost 50% from the field. Made almost all 8 of his free throws. He went 7 of 8, and he was finding people. Heck, he even had 2 blocks. I think it was as much of a Scottie Pippen type game that Austin could have as you could see. I was very, very impressed with his game tonight. I thought, playing a rough and tough type team here, Austin's been struggling on defense since the summer, but he held his own tonight, and I was very, very impressed with his game tonight, and it played a big part in the win.
It's something that's good to see that this backcourt, once again, they've been all over the place this season, Joe, coming off the playoffs, or they did play well together at times. They had not really meshed, even though they do like playing with each other. They had not meshed at all the first part of the season. One was out of the lineup on the bench. Then the other one was out of the lineup and on the bench. Now they're both back to where they were at starting. And they seem to be making a statement to the Lakers to not consider them for any trades and to try and see if they will work this thing out. Your thoughts, though, are you still thinking about them in trades, or are you looking to see, like you mentioned earlier, that the Lakers should probably keep D'Lo and Austin Reeves for the rest of the season?
I would keep them. The only way you trade those guys is if it's a bona fide third star that would carry the team as good as AD and LeBron, which there are no players out there like that. Your team is what it is, and the league has set up this lousy setup for this moment to not have anything good happen in the deadlines anymore, or during the off seasons when free agency starts. Just mind boggling to me. I know I keep bringing it up, but there was so much excitement for the deadline in the past. I have no excitement this year at all because I've looked at the list. It's trash. It's trash. There's nothing. What miracle could happen where there's a significant trade during the deadline? Something that would be of significance for the team that's getting a player. Who is Jimmy Butler going to get traded somewhere? Because Miami sees that there's time. This time it's not going to be the fairy tale run to the finals again. That would be maybe the only surprise. Do you consider Jimmy Butler a star still, or has he lost a step?
I think he's lost a
I
step.
think not only
I think he just cruises a lot in the regular season. I want to see him in a playoff run
which
again.
is an insult and unprofessional in my book, and you guys know
But you know he's playoff Jimmy.
Yeah, I don't care if he's playoff Jimmy. I think at some point if you're not going to want to play. I'm sorry, guys. I got to keep this real here. If you're not going to want to play during the regular season, then I think you should take a pay cut because this is the point. Point is, you're putting your team in a situation where they're going to barely get into the playoffs, and then you make this run or whatever for what? So that you can get spanked by the West. What's the goal here? This is Pat Riley. Pat Riley wins championships. He doesn't just go to the finals, or at least that's not what the goal is. So at some point, you have to decide on what's next. I don't look at finals appearances as a badge of honor. Okay? You go home the same way the team that was in the first round goes home, with nothing. Okay? I don't consider conference trophies anything. They mean nothing to me. It's about the Larry O'Brien trophy and the banner in the rafters that says world champions. So Miami's going to have to decide on whether they might want to start retooling for something else. That would be the only star that I would say could be a possibility in a trade that could go to a team that would maybe need that one guy to make a difference.
Once again, the Lakers do win 113-105. The Lakers are now 26-25 on the season. Truly great to have you here. Don't forget, 10 p.m. End your evening with a nightcap with Joe Soro. Looking forward to hearing what he has to say on the game, plus his thoughts on what's going on in the NBA and more. I know that the Golden State game was of great interest to a lot of people out there. Steph Curry scoring 60 tonight and unfortunately still losing, which tells you where we're at right now with their defense. But when it comes right down to it, the Lakers are the team that, Joe, I still think that they shouldn't make any drastic moves, because if they do, I just think it's going to come back and bite them. They should go with pretty much essentially the team that they have, maybe alongside the fringes is okay. But yeah, I just don't think that you go and read too much into the tea leaves and be able to go ahead and say, you know what, we're going to go ahead and make drastic changes now like we did last year. They don't have the same amount of assets to make the big changes everybody's asking for.
Last year was a completely different scenario than now. Last year, they needed to get rid of a player who was killing their team and killing their chances of going to the playoffs, and they improved. Here, they have a set team already. They need additions to this team, not take out guys that have actually been playing well lately and then try and get someone that might make a difference. DeJounte Murray, let's say, as good as he is, isn't going to take your team from a 9 seed to a 2 seed in the next 2 months. And it's just not going to happen. So what's the point? DeJounte Murray is going to be some kind of playoff stud. What happens to your depth? They're not going to just want Reeves and a first-round pick. They're going to want Reeves, somebody else, and a first-round pick, or a 3-team deal where they can get another draft pick because they gave up 3 to get him. I think Atlanta keeps DeJounte Murray. I don't have any basis on that. I'm just kind of throwing that out there. I don't think they get rid of him. They don't have to get rid of him. Why would they want to get rid of him? Unless they get a haul. That makes sense. Maybe another getting back the 3 first-round picks. Who's going to give 3 first-round picks for Murray? I wouldn't do that. I'm contemplating even giving him 2. Especially if you're a team that's not really going to benefit from just having him. Would Minnesota do it? Maybe that would help them. They're too clogged in that area. Small forward, too many guys that are offensive-minded players. I don't think that's going to work either. So where would he go that would make a difference, that would win a title? Philadelphia right now, Philly with Embiid. What if Embiid doesn't come back healthy? Oklahoma City, they already have young guys that are playing those positions. Why would they want another guy in there? It's at some point you got to give these, guys have to play. Okay, having 10 guys can sometimes be a detriment because now you're not playing guys that have talent regularly. Their rhythm gets thrown off. They get disgruntled. You have to be careful. You really need 6 to 7 really good players on a title contender. 2 superstars, hopefully, and then the rest are really, really good players. And if you can get lucky with an 8-9 guy that can, on occasion, come in and do his thing, sure, I'll roll with that. I mean, let's look at Jackson Hayes the last 2 nights. Went 3 for 3 out from the field, hit 4 or 5 from the free throw line, scored 10 points, played 13 minutes. That is exactly what you want from your backup center. Exactly. You get that kind of performance from your backup center, you don't have to worry about that. And is it any coincidence that because Jackson Hayes was able to do that, guess what? You had a fresh AD in the 4th quarter. See, guys, see how it works when people pull their weight?
Once again, the Lakers do win 113-105. Joe, I'm going to ask you this. Rodell's favorite player, Cam Whitmore. I think he said something of the fact that, that's what a young player does as far as being inconsistent, as we were talking about Max Christie, because, we need to see him put it together for more than just one game every 10 games. I'm sure Cam Whitmore isn't averaging 20 points a game. You have to let young players make mistakes, especially on a 500 team. Before you answer, Joe, I'm going to say this. For Cam Whitmore, the last 5 games, 25 points, 17 points, 20 points, 19 points, 24 points. That's pretty damn good for a guy that's coming off the bench as a rookie. How about Max Christie? This is the best game he's played all season coming off the bench.
In a league where you're on or above the cap, it's important if you can get a player that has $20 million type game and getting him for $3 million. You got a guy averaging 20 points plus a game that's making $3 million. A guy that has athleticism that can jump out the building on top of that.
Rodell says Cam Whitmore wouldn't get playing time on the Lakers.
Rodell,
if Cam Reddish
when you're done sniffing whatever glue you're sniffing when you post,
we talked about cocaine earlier.
Come back and then talk. That's an asinine analysis. That's an asinine idea. Cam Whitmore would be playing 25 minutes a game if he was a Laker. You probably wouldn't see Max Christie. As I'm not trying to dog on Max Christie, but you don't understand at this point. You're not understanding. I'm trying to put it lightly here. Cam Whitmore was the 4th best player in the draft that dropped to the early 20s. That does not happen in the NBA. It never happens.
Darvin Ham just called Cam Whitmore a young superstar.
He is a superstar in the making. If he does not get injured, he will be a star. He will be that guy. He will be. Now, The other thing that could take him out is his arrogance, maybe, or his ego. But as far as his talent, you have to risk at 17 to pick somebody like that. Too much talent there, way too much talent. So I'm going to leave it at that, because if I keep talking about this, we're going to get skewed off the point of the
Fair
game
enough.
today.
Fair enough. I just wanted to
It's
let you
over.
know.
It's over. They screwed that one up. No matter how much we screamed at this one. It didn't matter.
When it comes to the Lakers, though, heading into the game in Charlotte, I understand, my friend, that they should win, but we've seen this situation before. As I said, I'm not the most confident about that, because the Lakers seem to, they let their foot off the gas pedal, just like the Boston Celtics we saw the other night didn't take the Lakers seriously without LeBron and AD. Will the Lakers take it more seriously to end the road trip? A tired team, Joe, ending in Charlotte.
I have a good feeling they're not going to lose this game. They'll win it, and they'll come back 4-2, and it'll be one of the more successful six. I wouldn't have imagined this after the Houston Atlanta games, but they come out of this being very satisfied going 4-2. And that's something that's important. It'd be nice to get 2 games over 500 too. That would be another win. I don't remember the last time we were up over 2. Then you get some rest, you fly back home, and you guys are going to be home for a while. This is where the schedule starts to favor you.
The Pacific time zone.
The Pacific time zone. The Lakers are not going to leave the Pacific time zone for a month. That is huge, guys. That means their sleeping habits aren't going to change due to a time zone issue. You're going to be playing a lot of games at home. This is where you take advantage and start getting those 5, 6, 7 game winning streaks if you can, or at least one of them. And that's what I would tell the team. Like, look, if you beat Charlotte, we're up 2 games you're up 2 games over 500, and you're feeling pretty darn good about yourself coming out of the Grammy trip. And now you're going to be at home for a very long time. You're going to be on the left side for a very long time. This is when you make up a lot of ground. You got to make up the ground here. If you don't make up the ground here and try and get a 5 or 6 seed at this point, then you're putting yourself in a position to not be successful beyond the first round if you're a play-in team again.
And that's what Life Collection was asking. Are we back? And I've said, I got to see more. It takes more than just 2 games or 3 and 5, 3 wins in 5 games for the Lakers to really get to that point where we could say they're back.
When's the best time to ask that question? When 82 games is done. Are they back? What does that mean? Well, I don't trust this Laker team in the regular season. I'll trust them more in the playoffs, because they'll be focused. They'll game plan around one team. And last year, they were able to have some significant series wins because of it. I don't trust this team in the regular season. I never will. It's just not in the cards. But the Lakers, if LeBron and AD are not burnt out in the playoffs, you're always looking at a chance, because AD and LeBron are on the team. And if D'Angelo plays the way he's been playing lately in the playoffs, that could be a scary opponent for certain teams.
Could be. You could be right on that one. Absolutely. Once again, the Lakers do win 113-105. Again, we look at the situation now with the Lakers. They're in catch-up mode once again, Joe. So that means no rest for LeBron, no rest for AD. Again, this is very similar to what we saw last season heading into the trade deadline, where the Lakers now have to play catch-up once again just to get to the point where, you know what, we're seeing if they could make some headway in the playoffs. I think this season, though, what they're doing this season is going to be a little bit harder than what we saw last season as far as that uphill climb, Joe.
Yeah, because LeBron's a year older and AD's a year older. However, Austin's more seasoned right now, so that's a good thing. D'Angelo has something to prove, and two areas, which is one is prove to the team that he's a third option. The other is he's trying to get a multi-year contract this summer. So there might be motivation there for him to play well. Rui, I don't know how Rui plays out in this in the playoffs. If we can get Rui from last year, that would be great. Torian Prince is a hit and miss. And then guys like Max Christie and Jackson Hayes are going to have their little spurts, but I'm not going to put too much pressure on those guys to do something because they're not capable of being, game by game, game in and game out type players where they're dropping 15 points a game. The Lakers go as far as LeBron and AD go, and that's just the way it's got to be. In the playoffs, that's sometimes what matters is having those kind of players. But they're going to need to have some luck. They're going to need to have some luck in how the playoff bracket draws out. If they avoid Denver at the right time and Denver ends up having an injury where they're not as potent, that could be a benefit. I'm not really scared of Minnesota. I'm not scared of Oklahoma City. So it could play into an interesting run. It could play into an interesting run. And watching them play the Celtics seem to look like the Celtics when it matters, which is they can't figure things out when it matters a lot of times. So I'm not worried about them. Philly has an issue with Embiid, and then you have Milwaukee that's still having some issues there. So the Lakers, I still don't think they're going to win a championship, but this thing is slowly kind of getting to a point where it might be as wide open as it's ever been. And I said that last year to some degree until Denver won the third game in this series. And I'm like, no, I don't think anybody's going to beat Denver. And they ended up winning 5 of the next 6 games to finish and win the title.
Again, we'll take a look and see what's going to go on later tonight with Joe Soro and the Lakers Nightcap coming up in less than an hour at 10 p.m. Pacific. So join Joe for that. Once again, the Lakers do win 113-105. Definitely looking forward to hearing what he has to say for his show tonight. We'll go more into the movie thing, Cool Bro, just for you on the Nightcap. Right now, we'll keep it as far as Lakerish and NBA-ish as they can. I will say, Joe, that tonight obviously gives the Lakers some confidence heading into what hopefully will be a closeout game in Charlotte. But I don't want to go in overconfident because once we start getting overconfident as a fan base, this team has let us down continuously this season. I want to make sure that we go in with our eyes open and ready for anything, especially if the Lakers can finish on a 4-2 note. That would make it so much more pleasing heading into a tough game on Thursday against Denver.
I can be overconfident because I'm not playing in the game. I don't have any consequence. It's the Laker players that need to go into that game, understanding that they cannot lose this game. Otherwise, everything they've done on the road trip goes to garbage. Even the 3 wins, you lose to Charlotte. Losing to Atlanta on the road, I've said this before, that always was a bad matchup around. It just always was. Atlanta is always a bad time on the road. They always seem to lose that game, even when they were winning titles. The Houston loss was just a degrading loss because it looked like they quit. I didn't like that. I mean, they quit in the Atlanta game too, but the Houston one, they had a day off from the Golden State Warrior game, and I felt like they should have played better. But you lose to Charlotte, then the 3 wins that you had almost get washed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, the Lakers have to go ahead and assert themselves like they did today, especially on the defensive end. When you see them play defense like this, spirited, with energy, when you see them have energy like they did in back-to-back games against Brooklyn and New York, especially on the back half of a road trip, that gives you kind of pause, like maybe this team is not punting the season after all. So if they go ahead and have that same kind of energy in Charlotte, there's no reason why they shouldn't win and win big on Monday.
They were never really punting the season. They can't really do that. The noise about LeBron being traded were stupid. Whoever started that and actually read it was stupid.
Rich Paul has stated that he will not be traded. Although, Joe, well, let me ask you this, Joe, on top of it, because David McMenamin had a story today on how LeBron will not comment on if he's going to opt into his option and the hourglass thing. I know you've been adamant in saying he will pick up that option, but why the mum's the word on not picking up on the option? His lack of comment.
My interpretation of the hourglass is we're running out of time this season, not I'm running out of time or Darvin Ham's time is running out of time. It was the time is running out on the season. That's what I believe it meant. But first of all, JD's not going to trade LeBron unless he demands it.
Yeah.
And LeBron has never demanded a trade. Until I see it, I'm going to say no. And he's not opting out of $51 million.
Yeah.
You can sit here and scream it at top of your lungs. No one, I don't care if there are $15 billion in the bank, no one opts out of $51 million unless there's an extension that follows. You opt out, and we're going to pay you 2 years, $80 million. Okay, I'll take that deal. I'll take another $30 million to play one more year. Yeah, I'll do that. But I don't know about that one. I don't know if that would be something Genie does. I don't know. That was more possible than him opting out of $51 million and going on the free agent market. Who's going to pay LeBron James $51 million? You tell me. Who? The answer is no one. Even if they want him, they're not paying. They can't pay him $51 million. So put your guys' smart hats on. Start focusing on the now. We said to you earlier, we are going to focus game to game. We're not going to get into fantasies. We're going to go get a prime Durant and a prime Giannis. Those things do not happen here. It's not going to happen. The Lakers are likely going to finish the season with what they have because the CBA doesn't allow them to improve anymore.
No worries, cool, bro. I just again, it's just something I want to focus on the game at hand, and yeah, no worries, cool at all, cool, bro. You're good. Everything's good. But once again, it's the Lakers fast break. The Lakers do win 113-105. Joe, with the time that we're going to spend left here on the show, I was hoping you could go ahead and talk a little bit about how encouraging the two New York really make you as far as the Lakers fan. Again, I'm still kind of getting back into it with the Lakers, and fortunately still not there yet. I'm not 100% sure they're back in it. I know people are asking for them. Are they back in? Are they back in? 2 wins should not be that definitive for you because, again, every time we've seen them prosper, they've taken those steps back. That's why they're a 500 team, or essentially they're in. But how much of encouragement does victories in Boston, New York really give you for the rest of the season?
Very encouraging because Boston's a 1 seed and New York is on the rise, and you went into their crib one of those games without your 2 stars and you whooped their ass. You didn't just beat them, you whooped their ass. That's hella encouraging, which is why it's very important that you finish this road trip in Charlotte with a win. Otherwise, you completely napalm those 2 games. If you do lose, you can't afford to do that. I'm very happy with the wins. Winning makes you feel good, makes you feel inspired, makes you feel confident. Winning is the only thing that matters, at least for me. And that winning can be subjective on what it does to you. For me, it puts me in a position of being able to support players who are getting paid a certain amount of money, players that are putting in a certain amount of work that results in this. I don't like the fact that I've had to hear Halliburton. Was it Halliburton complaining about the 65 games? Having to play 65 games to qualify for awards.
Yeah, a lot of them are grumbling about that.
So whomever is grumbling about that, you should. Here's my comment on that. I want you to go to your little agents, and I want you to go talk to the player association head, whoever the hell that is, and go talk to Adam Silver at the same time and say, I want to take a pay cut because I don't want to play 82 games a year. I want to see you do that. You know what? Because that would benefit the team. You want to play 65 games or 60 games? I want you to take your salary, prorate 22 games out of that salary. I want you to have the balls to do that. And then the team can go get somebody to cover your ass for 22 games. You going to do that? You going to do that? Huh? Mr. Team Halliburton? Huh?
All I say is that the 65, I think it helps. I really like the fact that
It should have been 70, just like Barkley said. It should be 70, not 65. One of the few things that have materialized this year that I love is the fact that they're griping about playing games. You freaking greedy a-holes. What nerve you have? What kind of nerve is that? And this would be the time where Adam Silver could really lay the smackdown on these players. You guys have some nerve to complain about playing basketball, which in turn you're getting paid 40 to 50 million a year to do. What are you going to do when you're not playing? Playing grab ass with your butt? What do you do when you don't play? You're paid to play basketball. What are you complaining about? You want to get that Supermax money, right? Because you got to make the All-NBA teams. Oh, so you can make more money. So you're complaining there's too much stress to play this many games, but you still want your Supermax money.
The
entitlement, the gall. This is the stuff you want to hit these athletes with, not whether they're going off on some stupid ass club, hanging out with some yahoos. Who gives a crap about that? This is where the media can make their points, the schmucks that they are out there. Dog them for that because they can't answer back. They're going to go back in their hole because logic in that discussion will make them go into that hole. How do you have the gall and the nerve to complain about playing basketball when you're asking for $50 million a year? You're insulting Wilt Chamberlain's grave. You're insulting Bill Russell's grave. You're insulting Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You're insulting Magic, Jordan, Bird. These guys, you couldn't hold these guys as fingernail clippings. And you guys are making 50 times the money that they were making when they were playing. Come on. You kidding me?
I'll tell you what, though, something to think about. I like the 65 game rule. I really do.
Absolutely. It's a great rule.
Yeah.
And I would have went to 70. But 65 is good too. 65 is good too. So put your shorts back up, little girls, and put your little jersey on, and go do whatever it is that you do with your stupid hair. You spend probably half the day freaking blow drying it and putting in little curls and putting in little Band-Aids and rubber bands, whatever the hell it is that you do with that, and focus on playing a game that you're getting paid a hell of a lot of money to do. A hell of a lot. Yes. Go play basketball. That's what you're paid to do. And if you don't want to play basketball, take your money and go give it back to the owner then. If I was an owner, I'd be like, oh, you want to play 60 games? Sure. I can renegotiate that contract. Yeah, sure. And they'll be like, what? What are you talking about? No. I want to keep my money. Well, then get your ass out in the court. End of discussion.
Again,
Michael Jordan played 82 games 9 times in his career. He played 15 years. One of those years was when he was with the Wizards, by the way. His last season. A 40-year-old Jordan played all 82 games. How about that?
My room setup might have been different, or my office setup might have been different. Cool, bro. I don't know exactly. The Stormtrooper poster, I have one over on the side that you no longer can see. So if you're talking about behind me, that's actually Master Chief of the Halo series. So I don't know. I'd have to check the old logs, but my first episode ever was with Boomer Parole, who I'm hoping I could get on here in about 40 some odd episodes, because we're closing in on 1,000 audio episodes. So definitely would love to have him back on the show for that. But once again, the Lakers do win 113-105. Joe, want to make sure you have plenty of time to go ahead and prepare for tonight's nightcap. I'm going to try and join you as well as soon as I upload this audio. But any last thoughts, my friend, before we head on out?
Congrats to the Lakers. Thought they played as good as you could have played on the road in hostile environment, especially off the emotion of beating a Celtics team in their own house without your two main stars. I thought they looked even better tonight. And please be prepared to finish this off the correct way by beating a massively inferior team, a team that's in the toilet, a team that shouldn't even exist. Yes, I am going there because Charlotte should never have gotten a second chance to have a team. They are pathetic. They have done nothing for the league. Sorry, Michael Jordan. You were an owner and you made money out of owning the team, but the Charlotte Hornets should have never existed the second time. I think there were plenty of other places that the league could have gone to make things more interesting than the monstrosity of the Charlotte Hornets in that region.
Actually, Isabel's asking, are you hopeful or not on the Lakers?
No, I'm not hopeful. I'm just going to stick with my normal focus, and that's let's focus on each game, and analyze and interpret what's going on off each game. Otherwise, we're going to drive ourselves nuts. It's going to be a lot easier to understand the process once the trade deadline's done, because we'll know after the deadline what the roster will finally look like.
So, Joe, what do you have planned for people tonight here in just about a little over half an hour here?
Well, I know some had complained on the last show that we were veering off that Laker basketball, folks. A nightcap is Laker basketball. Don't get me wrong, but we do have that
casual.
We do have that casual talk too, and sometimes we could go all Lakers all the way, but sometimes we will get some casual talk. And the show is evolving. It's going to evolve. There's going to be a different look to it as things progress here. So I want you all to understand that, yes, it is primarily a Laker show, but we do delve into other things. And I want you guys to feel free to ask questions. Kubra obviously is pretty comfortable asking about flowers and daisies and movies.
Cocaine.
And cocaine. And we'll answer those questions. Again, I only answer those questions because I've never done cocaine, never will. But
nor have I.
But I do know that it's not good for you, especially if you're 15 years old.
Don't do cocaine. Yeah, absolutely. Well, we had to educate him on that today. I feel real weird in educating someone on cocaine, but it is what it is. Don't do coke. There you go.
I'm sorry, Isabel. I'm not understanding the question. You said I stick to my feelings.
Yes.
How do you rely on them?
Them? Or why?
Or why? I don't know. Yeah. I'm not understanding the question.
But yes, definitely looking forward to that here in just about 40 minutes. It is Joe Sorrell, Lakers Nightcap with Joe Sorrell coming up here. Yes, Eric says you're not missing anything. Garbage, cocaine is bad. Okay, yes.
I like that button at the end there, Eric. Okay.
Yes. Very South Parkian that was. Okay.
That's my favorite part of South Park is the
okay. I will say though that it is great to have you here. I truly appreciate the large audience for us today again. Again, please make sure you like and subscribe. It really helps us out. I know I keep saying it till I'm blue in the face, but it really does help us out. I see in all these forums, make sure you have the audience like and subscribe. It really does help out the algorithms. It gets us into more other people's faces that aren't aware of us, and hopefully gets our name out there. Because Joe, we want to get this thing bigger, right? We absolutely want to get this thing a lot bigger than it is right now.
We're averaging 100 subscribers a month now, which soon will be 200, then 300. We're building it organically. We're not cheating. We're not having some firm, find a bunch of bots in Thailand just saying, yeah. No, we want genuine people here. It's going to take a minute, and we'll get there. And with your help, of course, guys. And that's it. We're gonna do this one right. I want us to have a massive following, and I also want you guys to understand that there will be a lot of trolling and a lot of negative feedback. That's just kind of what personality we have here. It's not as smooth as some of the Laker channels out there that can stay within that positive feel or that easy delivery of information. I tend to disturb a lot of people because I tend to hit targets. I should say hit nerves that hit targets. People don't like to hear the truth, even if it's not about them. What happens is you can snuff out someone who's angry about something, and by their retort. You know, if I'm criticizing, let's say, I don't know, Fred Van Fleet, right? And I'm pretty demonstrative with it. You'll get a comment from someone who's not a Rockets fan or a Fred Van Fleet fan and say, who are you? Who do you think you are? Who you do? Da, 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 based off of what I called that player. Again, I'm not calling Fred Van. I'm just using that as an example. And then now I naturally assume that I might have been talking about you and you recognized it. Now that's on you. Because now you're starting to project. Now you got hit, and now you feel like I'm attacking you. That's why you're commenting the way you are. So yeah, it's a lot of psychology in this, guys. And the beautiful thing about being me is I don't give a flying rat's behind in the end. Okay, I'm going to do what I do here. You got a problem with it? You are more than welcome to express it, but I don't give a damn. I don't get affected by it. Let's just put it that way. I'm here to chew bubble gum and kick ass.
And you're all out of bubble gum.
Rest in peace, Roddy Piper.
Roddy Piper. Yes. Great movie. They Live. Absolutely. There's one for you, cool bro. They Live.
You're a god.
Yes. Do this one back to back right now or whenever you get a chance, cool bro. Okay. They Live. Big Trouble in Little China. Really fun movies. You'll like that.
Come on, Wang.
Yes. Really fun movie.
Became funnier the older I got.
Yes.
Because you started getting the adult humor. But my whole adolescence, I never got the Wang part, right? Until I became an adult. And one of the more underrated, yes, he is truly underrated. Kurt Russell, man, what a performer. Yeah, he's had a 60-year career. Pretty phenomenal actor. I would highly recommend Big Trouble in Little China, and definitely They Live. One of the best fight scenes in a movie is in that, and I get a lot of laughs when I say that, but it looked like a real fight. Like how it would go against two guys who don't really know how to fight, but they're fighting.
Are we talking about the world's longest fight in They Live?
Yes.
There's some good stories. What's his name? Who did the fight with Roddy? Yeah, Keith David. Oh yeah, great voice. He's in Mass Effect. But I will say, yeah, Keith David talks always fondly about how he worked with Roddy on that, and the stories making.
Roddy carried him. It was really good.
Yeah, absolutely. But yes, it's Big Trouble in Little China, not Middle China, Little China, and also as well They Live. But we'll say if you can go ahead and join Joe tonight, I will hop on as soon as I can as well for the Lakers nightcap. Thought we'd close out your evening there. We will, cool bro, since it's going to be your first time around on the Lakers nightcap, we will touch on your favorite movie lines. So we'll go ahead and touch on that as well. But any last thoughts, my friend, before we head on out?
I think I'm good. I think I'm coming down a little bit on the euphoria of the game tonight, and I'm going to go prepare my nightcaps for the nightcap, and I'll see you guys in 34 minutes.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it. And I will try to join as soon as I finish uploading this for our audio audience. Once again, it is the Lakers fast break. The Lakers do win 113-105. I was saying 105-98 earlier. Absolutely not. It was 113-105. ESPN updates on my screen a lot slower than it should, but it is the Lakers winning 113-105. They are 26-25 on the season, 9 games out in 9th place, but they are only 3 games out of 6. Now is the time for them to start to make a move up the Western Conference once again. Sean says, only negative to a Lakers win. No Joe rant. No Joe rant indeed. Xbox, truly appreciate
I did a little bit of a rant with the
Cam
player.
Whitmore thing. Yeah, he didn't want to.
The player participation thing. I thought that
Yeah,
was a little bit of a rant.
a little bit of rant, a little bit.
I wasn't loud.
A little bit.
It doesn't mean I have to be loud on the rants. It was a rant.
Okay.
I try, guys. I really do. I know a lot of you guys want this, and I try. I try to find it within the flow of the show so it doesn't look fabricated. But yes, I did do a rant. I would say that constitutes as a rant.
We expect a rant win or loss. That's like Doobie who hates ham and wins and losses.
It's like eating good steak every week, guys. You want to have steak maybe once every month or two.
What if they lose? What if they lose to Charlotte?
If they lose to Charlotte, that's so bad. I don't even know if I could do a rant. It'd just be depressing.
Okay. Just saying. Just saying. But once again, it is the Lakers fast break.
You gotta let the game come to you, you know? Sometimes rants come out of nowhere.
I do want to let everyone know the Lakerholics have a busy schedule again and will not be here tomorrow, but I will have on a former Lakerholic. L-Rob is coming back on. He's going to talk about what's going on with the road series, the Grammy trip for the Lakers, and then also as well, I asked him his thoughts on the Lakers trade deadline and if they'll do anything or if he wants them to do anything. So it'll be great to have on L-Rob as well. Maybe Joe can join us as well. It's going to be an early game. It's going to be early show, 3 p.m. Pacific, just to let everyone know out there. So definitely looking forward to hearing his thoughts and hopefully yours as well. But yep, great to have you here. And in 30 minutes, it'll be Joe Soro, a nightcap. Join Joe for a nightcap tonight here in about half an hour. Looking forward to it. I'll try to join as well as soon as I'm finished with this audio. Looking forward to catching you up with you here in just a bit on Lakers Nightcap right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast.